I see is the side of grace and love. He shows himself in different ways to people. You can see the God of war. That is the one who's showing, depending on your calling. The God I see, that's why I love. That's why I love people. You know why? Because God has shown me love. And he teaches me his love side. You know, God teaches us his different. If you are a prayer warrior, God will show you the God of, do you understand, battle, spiritual battle. I don't pray too much. When I need to pray, when I'm sitting, the Spirit quickens me. And then I begin to speak in tongues. I got my tongues in the room when the problems were too many and I couldn't pray. Then my mouth began to talk. I wasn't impacted on. You understand? All this.
I wasn't as well.
So, in a nutshell, you asked me one question I went to. So, the issue of Nigeria, I was sitting one day and God said to me, Rachel, love Nigeria. You cannot be anything if you don't accept it. If you don't say it. So, I now consciously agreed. And I said, I love Nigeria. And so, that love was not there. Forget. It wasn't. I'm not joking. I didn't care. I was like, no matter, whatever.
And you carried your final money. I knew it.
I know.
I traveled to promote Nigeria.
Yes, all those trips.
It can only come from
very
God.
Expensive trips. Very expensive. You know, that's why I say when I he tells me not to regret. You understand? But my houses.
I remember I was telling you that can't you use that money to buy one house?
I'm telling
Let's
you,
keep it
all
somewhere and rent it and be receiving money.
Once I accepted that I love Nigeria, I wasn't myself. I love the country, like I love Nigeria. I don't even know how to explain it. Do you understand? And to be honest, like I said to you, I can give my life for Nigeria.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's the story.
You were talking about there are times that you will not. It's as if you don't even know how to take the next steps. It has happened to me so many times. I just want to shut down. I just want to go and look for a job because I know that I'm going to be a star employer.
Exactly.
Yeah, employee. But something just kept drawing you back. At your lowest point, how do you manage to get inspiration? How do you pick yourself up?
What happens is sometimes I draw strength in isolation. That's my nature. And that's why sometimes I'm not able to socialize. Like I wrote in my other piece, I'm an introvert and extrovert. And why I do that is because when things are like turbulent, I withdraw. You understand? I stay in my room.
You pray more?
You know the funny thing? I just stay. You understand? My nature with God is that I pray when I'm moved. Because every time I'm praying, you know, I'm always talking to Him. Even now, Spirit. So that's the prayer. I'm always talking, how far? Holy Spirit. So which one now for you? I don't understand again. You're not pampering me like before. You know, He used to pamper me. Anything I say will happen. Then He allows you to work things out because how will you birth the big visions if you are pampered? If you can call 4 million, you get it immediately. That was how He used to be with me. I used my mind.
You will not even appreciate it. So
Chief, I enjoy pampering.
I know.
I'm telling you. So now it doesn't happen just like that. So He will let you go through the fire so you can birth. If you don't go through the fire, you cannot. If you have all the money, how would you think of that movie? How would you think about that vision? Do you understand? You have to be pressed in order to come up with things. And that's what He does. Most times you just fold His hand. I'll say to now, you know, you don't talk to me, no problem. In fact, I'm an orphan, you know. So, and then He'll just be there. So that's the thing. So when I'm going through that, honestly, Chief, there are very tough times. Very, I know you will relate. You have all the responsibilities, and then you don't even know. There are times there. I remember there was one particular time when you don't even think you can. Anything can ever work again. Do you understand? I mean, you have to pay the bills. You have to do this. You have to do that, and then your income is such that because you're an entrepreneur, you're not sure.
And after 4 weeks, you have staff to pay.
You have to pay salaries. And then there's no set income, like you are sure this. But you know what happens? I learned something about persistence. You will call that person because also you need helpers in this kind of job. You have to have people who you can call and beg and cry. They will not pick up your call. You call. They will not pick up your call. You call. I have mentors like that. They will not pick up. They will vex with me as if they've cut me off for life. I will still call. Spirit of God said focus, persistence. call again.
Okay.
That Jordan trip.
Maybe that's what I need to learn from you.
Ah.
Because me,
Don't give up.
if you don't pick my call, I'm not going to call
again. No, in my
and I'll
my
move to
own
the
case,
next person.
In my own case, persistence.
I'll move to the next person, and you know God just creates them. That's why I told you that.
But
that thing you
said.
That thing you just said is true. So I move.
You just move.
You just move.
Like that Jordan trip. It was some days to Jordan.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Because when you told me it was too close.
Taking a lot of my money.
And I was like, how
the
are you going to
Federation
make
owes
it?
me like 30 million naira. That's why it's well. You understand? So, but close to it, I was with Link Edochie, we're shooting a movie. And that week I was exasperated. I wasn't the relaxed person, just as well. I know we need this money, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do this, we have to do this. So even on set, I was exasperated. So Link came and spoke to me. Link is a counselor, Link Edochie, you know. And then he said, put it on Jesus. So almost like physically, I carried the thing and I put it on God and I relaxed. But then I still continued the calls. And finally, the person that wasn't picking picked.
And then it came through.
Yes.
That's
so
good.
Persistence, yeah.
So let's talk about the movies.
Yeah,
You started with movie. It was actually your first love. And recently it's as if you have gone so much into it. How many movies have you made so far?
Wow, it's over getting to 30.
Wow.
From when I started, when I was 16 years old, It's a number of them.
Which one was the most challenging and why?
The most challenging was the first one I did in Enugu with Jim Ike, Patience the Zokwan and Kemo. Well, you know I was meant to start that period, but I just dropped it. Because Obi Okole, he came and met me in Kaduna, we shot a film, and then he saw something in me and then he invited me to Enugu. But when I saw what was going on in the industry at that time, and as a young, I didn't want to be part of it.
Spiritually you were not strong enough?
Yes. And you know, when you are on a certain pedestal and you know your values, it's easy because a lot of people compromise to rise. Most, you know, people have to compromise. So when
but rather you withdraw.
Yes, I withdraw. I just took it easy, you know. So and then you know, I have spots on my legs. When I was younger, you know, I'm a girlie, I'm a tomboy, I'm 2. So my mother would say, "These are your legs, you regret," and the spots don't disappear from my leg. I have a kind of skin. I will ensure that I wear things that make me look better, you understand? I like to show my stomach since I can't show my legs. So as a teenager, I like to wear, you know. So when I went for, I didn't have control over the costuming. I had a scene with Jim Ike. I was Jim Ike's lawyer, and with Patience Zokwo, those A-listers, and they dressed me in a skirt suit. Hey, I nearly died that day. I was so nervous. I didn't know that I should think of my leg or my acting because I really was conscious of my legs.
But you couldn't have, wouldn't you have opted for a very long skirt? You
know, out there, I was just coming from here. I could control my costuming. But there, you know, it was my first time coming from the North Hausa girl. And then, you know, you don't really have a say. And they just brought me on set and just gave me the outfit. And, you know, their own... At that point, I can handle them now, but then, I was just young, I was like 16 years,
and you know,
17.
You didn't want to be like, I'm not even an A-lister.
Yes,
I
didn't want
so
to.
Much.
Exactly, I just kept quiet and avoid. But I tell you, that day, I was shaking. So I was a lawyer, but I was taught with, Patience Sokwo is wonderful.
That's what everybody says.
She now would tell me, relax. You know, she would talk to me like a mother. When finally I calmed down, I don't even know how I went through that. That was the period I was having that health issue. So there was one medication I was taking. So Jimike doesn't come to the rooms. Because even me, you know, all the girls were crazy about him and all of that. But me, I held myself. Oh, hi, I'm a fan. And I just held my own side.
Because when it's too much, no woman wants to be in the midst of too much.
Exactly.
You know?
So he came to look for me in our hotel. His own hotel is different.
And I turned down a superstar.
I'm
not
telling
because
you.
I don't love him.
Exactly.
But when it becomes plenty, you just want to be
somehow
different.
So he came and then he now said, I needed to buy my medication. You know, men and they are he now said, okay, he will take me to town to buy it. But of course, after buying, he now said we should branch by his hotel. You understand? So one thing led to the other. And then I came late for my shoot. And in Kemo came early because of me, because I had to come back to school. You understand? Because I had exams.
So you wanted to finish the scenes and then rush
Jimike now delayed me. Do you understand? So when I came, the whole hotel were talking about the matter. I kept in Kemo. this small Kaduna girl. So that's one experience I will never forget. When I came back, I was mortified. Do you understand? But me and Jimmy became friends after then, and Jimmy actually helped me to leave that relationship I was in. Because when we came back, we were shooting webs, but I just felt I had to run away from the other guy. So I now, everybody understood, because they were even writing his name in the end credits. That's the other guy. Because he will carry equipment for us, he will stay with us during shoot, you know. So when I came back, I told them, look, I'm not in the frame of mind to shoot again, please. I have to run. I now took, I didn't even wait to take flights that time. Because Jim was saying, oh, he was with Step Nora then. I now took bus. I said, Jim, I'm coming. You know, if you get somebody who can help you break the... I now came. Guess what happened? That guy looked for Jim's number. He began to call Jim, saying that he's a film director. So one day we just came back to Jim's place. I just had Rachael. That's what he calls me. I turned back and I saw him in Lagos. So because when we were in Enugu, he was calling a lot. Everybody knew I had one abusive relationship, because when he calls, I'll not be normal. I know Jim is also hot-tempered. Does he beat you? Does he lay his hand on you? So Jim knew I didn't know anybody in the compound. So when he came, and I said, Jim, don't worry, I'm coming. He now said I should go and pack my things, let's go. And I said, no, I will see you tomorrow, please. Then when he wasn't going, so Jim now came, and I said, Rachael, who is this? He now mentioned, he said, is this motherfucker has the right to come to my crib? Yes, you know how he talks now. You see how Jim beats that guy that day. He ran him out of the house. So that was what came out in the papers. But the very next day, he called me again. That's the guy. And I said, sure you are okay? Sure you haven't done anything with him? I said, yes, okay, I'll see you in Zaria. You know, as long as you mean well, God will save you.
What's your backstage experience? Because this thing we see now, it's already makeup.
I know.
You know, what is your backstage experience? The most of it that you think that somebody watching this can be uplifted. What's your backstage experience? You've talked about so many of them, but a unique one that is supposed to lift someone up.
My backstage experience is God. You know, one day I was praying, and he said to me, Rachael, rather than ask me to do this or do that, why not tell me, put my glory on display in your life? He took me, whenever he tells me something, he takes me to the scriptures. So I think the person I relate with a lot, every second, every minute, you know, is God, because I've come to learn how to talk to him. So behind the scenes, you may just see me smiling, sitting, but I'm talking to him. I'm asking him questions. You know, so this is what people don't really know. Behind the scene, behind this woman, behind this so-called lioness, because that's what they say, they say lioness. Behind everything, the lion is the lion of the tribe of Judah. I am just a vessel. He puts me in front. And so the thing behind the stage is I am willing to go. That will, God uses our will. God cannot force you. You have to accept that I want to do. That's one thing with our religion. There's no force. He will never ever make you do anything you don't want to do. And then God is diplomatic. In the Bible he says, come, let us reason together. You can bring your strong reason. That's why when he told Hezekiah will die, he still came to him and said, no, strong reasons.
I'm not supposed to die now.
Exactly. So God is somebody that you can come and say, I beg, see this matter, or see this matter now. I know you said this, but I beg, can we make it like this? He's that kind of person.
Yeah, I understand.
And then another thing is, you know, I would describe the personalities. You know, Jesus, of all of them, Jesus is very gentle. When he comes, he will sit down and tell you to sit beside him. And he's very quiet, and he's like a lamb. And he comes in white, and you know, he's very understanding.
Because he has gone through what we are going through.
Yes, that's,
you know, the other people can just stand and watch, but he has gone through it.
Yes. Jesus, of all the Trinity, Jesus has that personality. And he comes once in a while. When he comes, I know, I don't just say Jesus come, he comes. He comes on his own accord. When there's a need. He's come like 3 times. But then, you know, God the Father, you can't see his face.
You can't.
No, you can't. It's huge and then into the sky. You can't see. But the Holy Spirit is sometimes mild, he's sometimes strong, he's sometimes fiery. Exactly.
Yeah, and that experience. At times I was like, can I stop praying? And you know, you can't stop praying. You just continue praying like a mad woman.
Because there's a need. And that's the best place to be in God, when you allow him, when there's an urgency, he carries it on. Yeah. So those are the things, you know, behind the scene. That's my bane. That's my stronghold. Even my decisions in my relationships, I don't do anyone without him. Yeah. So everything, even if it's a decision that may not be normal, we negotiate. I tell him this, that, this, see this thing now. Do you understand? Please.
So Piper's Dynasty have just shot a movie. I saw the trailer or some clips from it. Can you tell us about the movie? Where did it come from?
It's, you know, it's just another story. It wasn't my movie initially. I went through a lot because of that movie. That will have ended in police. Yeah, with the producer. I brought the money for the film, and I was co-producer. You understand? But the director of Femi Abatan just called me and said, Rachael, I have a role for you. It's totally you, and you have to be the one because the character is you. That's the character I play. And so the person who was meant to bring the money could not, because he was ill in the US. So I spoke with one of my sponsors and I signed an MOU with him, and I brought the money to them. So when they finished the movie, it was time to pay back. There were issues, this, that. The person who gave me the money said, I don't know them, you. So I was in between either to take this one to police, stay CID, to give me my money. Because this same person who gave me the money are my sponsors on my program, so that will spoil my relationship. The other guy is somebody who is straightforward. He has been wonderful, you know, based on trust. Who will give you a bulk of money without a collateral? He does. We just signed an MOU. So, you know, the pressure of disappointing that guy and affecting my sponsorship. I had to do something to get this, to shake this guy to bring away. Finally, I don't like fighting.
But at times you have to fight, especially if you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You have to fight.
But you know, the thing is, sometimes what I do is, instead, because it's not really an area I like, I ask for God to bring another way. So when I did that, it was headed towards that direction, but when I asked for that, then I now thought, come to think of it. Then he himself once suggested to me that how about he gives me this film, because I brought the money. And then now, because I had to swap my payment for a deal, that payment, and it put me back financially a lot. You know, it took a whole lot. And then I didn't know the content of the film properly. You understand? So I said, okay, fine. So I now found a way and I paid the man quietly. So me, I can now carry, but now signed all the MOUs. When the film came to me, and also it's a Piper project that has landed in a platter of gold. So like my money paid for it, but
God works in mysterious ways.
That's how Land of Opportunity came.
Okay, so what's the story behind Land of Opportunities?
The story behind Land of Opportunity is totally what is happening in Nigeria right now. Okay. The issue of elections and somehow leaders not carrying out what, you know, people who voted them expected, you know, what they expected. And then the big bridge between, the big gap between the poor and the rich. How you find on one part people can't pay their bills, they are struggling, children can't go to school. On the other side,
they are dying because they have not gotten paracetamol.
Exactly. Yes. So that movie addresses this issue. We're keeping it a mystery, but the movie also shows that in this Nigeria there are opportunities. No matter how horrible your situation is, you finish school, you can't get a job. Keep trying. Another lesson in the film is that keep speaking. Be bold, be confident. Our protagonist in the film, if no matter his situation, he was always speaking. You understand? Speaking about what's happening in Nigeria, he was vocal. And that was how an opportunity came for him.
Okay,
somebody saw him.
What role did you play? It seems you play a role of a journalist.
Yes, I played the lead role as a lady who has a show, just like my show, but something more like a talk show. You know, so we bring people on the show, and so I brought him on the show, and then he got to express his opinions, and then the story changed. There's more to it. There's even romance. There's so much. But the good thing about this project is the fact that it's not just a film, and that is why when I sent the pilot, people said, oh. Sorry, when I sent the trailer, people said, oh, you showed too much. I said, my own vision is for the more people to see it, the better. So I'm not hoarding the content. I intend to even seek local channels to show it, because I want everybody to see it. So my own goal is sponsorship.
But even if they see it, you would want to make your money back.
I will make the money back through, not the normal, because normally you go and sell it. I will sell it still to the platforms, but I will ensure that the platforms that cannot pay me for the content, I tip them to M. Those are the local channels, because the masses watch those ones. So, and the way to do it is sponsorship, rather than just depending, because the movie owes me millions already, so I have to recoup. So yeah, that's the whole idea. So it's more like a project than a movie. It's something that is meant to stimulate a movement, to show that even if you're down on the ground, keep pushing.
Stand up again.
Exactly.
Keep pushing.
There are opportunities in this country, so don't just stay on the ground. Well, if it like Abiyoye used to say, even if it's only one leg you have left, keep shaking the leg. And also in this country, your life can go from A to Z, or from Z to A. That's our country, Nigeria.
But that's true, you know. You can see someone stinkingly poor today, and the next day the person is somewhere. Like one of our friends, she was cutting, and before you know, an appointment came. She became someone huge. Then now she's giving contracts to people.
Oh my God.
What millions? You know, so it can go from
Nothing
0
to
100.
You're right.
And you can be from 100. You be like, you're everything, and you come back to 1.
You're right.
So, you know, we have to be careful.
Another aspect of a movie is it stands in the middle. Speaks for the government, speaks for the people. How do we synergize? That's my position. I want to, if for example a leader is doing badly, can we solicit with that leader to hear the voice of the masses? So up to the last day of the tenure of that leader, we should have the hope that we can work on that leader. I seem to have that mindset. Don't people can throw stones at me when I mention that, but I just believe that.
Oh, welcome to my world.
I just believe that you don't completely condemn, no matter how horrible it is.
Yes,
keep
you
giving
just
the
keep
benefits
praying
of doubt and trying.
And pray for them,
you know?
instead of castigating.
Yes.
When are we expected to see lands of opportunity? At least the premiere, few people for us to come and watch. Because for me, seeing the trailer, I can't.
You can't wait to see it.
Everybody there, you need to come out.
Yeah, the responses are really massive. Everybody is actually excited about seeing the film, and I thank God for that. It's a very moving story. I watch it over and over again, and I'm so excited.
I'm your friend. Can you come and watch it?
Don't worry, I will invite you in grand style. We have plans. The very first premiere will be something big. It won't be the regular premiere.
That's good.
Because where we're looking at doing it is not the normal.
Oh,
so
really?
I just keep it like that. But
Please
the
tell
fact
me
that you're
quickly.
saying you want to see it, I will hasten everything. Because sometimes another thing I do, people feel I do so much. But what I do is, I take it slow also, but people don't know. So, this is actually not a movie, Chief. It is actually a project. We intend to get people, you know, very acquainted with the film around even local channels, and then we want our audiences are all Nigerians, from the leaders. You know, you have who you call the masses. Those are the ones on the lower ladder, and then the people who are somewhere middle class, and even the leaders. So we really want this movie to reach as many Nigerians as possible, because within the movie also we are reflecting what we feel good leadership should be. So that's what we want to do. We want to create a bridge between the leaders and those who feel they are oppressed.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea. We want to use this, and by the grace of God we'll have maximum impact.
All of a sudden you have become a sport woman. What is this about sport?
I never in my wildest dreams imagined I would see myself in sports. I mean, when you said it now, it sounds because
but that's what it is, right?
It's true. I'm a sports woman, and a very unique sport. But that's, you know, you see, the thing about destiny is that when you walk, like when they say prophecy comes in parts, you may see this part of your life, you will not see ahead. So the more you progress, the more they unfold. Right now, who knows, maybe you'll be the president tomorrow, if you haven't seen it yet. But you will see that one thing will lead to the other.
And then I want to be a president.
But you're a carrier of people.
Can do
you know, you have muscles, mama. That's what you're a mother.
Yes, I
That's
am.
in the spirit, you're a mother. You know, another thing, we all have our personalities in the spirit. You know, like you now, you're a real woman.
Thank
you are a matriarch. That's you're almost like a man. You're like a father, father, mother, all mixed in one person. So the thing is, you never can tell what may come. You may have ideas, but you may not see the real picture. So what happened with the water series, in my traveling around the world promoting Nigeria, I was also hungry to bring investors to Nigeria. And then I met Mr. Uwe Goldstein. I sold Nigeria to him. We spoke, and he sold the water ski to me. You know, and then we brought it to Nigeria, and then we made history just recently. We were the first black skin to be at that event in Jordan. The only flag that was African that was flying in that place was Nigeria, aside from South Africa. And South Africa is actually a white skin. You know, it's an extreme sport, so mostly even black Americans are not keen. You know, but we went. And against all odds, we funded ourselves, even though we have help. There's a patron who is amazing. Dr. Francis Oboro, honestly, that man, because he is the president of the Polo Federation, so he understands how federations run. He told me, he said, Rachael, the problem I have with all this federation, they don't bring money. So you want, you know, this is what you want to do. So, but he ends up always just contributing something to help, and then I compliment from mine. But the federation owes me up to 30 million. I represented Nigeria in Toulouse in the Congress. You know, I went around different facilities in Germany, Austria, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, different places, you know, before we even established this federation. I hosted Mr. Uwe Goldstein, hosted the inauguration, you know, and so many ran the federation to the point where it is right now from my pocket, believing that the Ministry of Sports will pay me back. But you know, when you look at some things in the country, you realize that you can get moral support. But when it's financial support, everybody's struggling for the ministries are also struggling on their own part. So you just do what you have to do. So, but we've had a lot of moral support from the ministries, from the former Minister of Sports and the present one, and DG Sports. So, and Gumel also, that's National Olympics Committee.
What's the sport all about? How does it operate?
The sports, first of all,
you just skate on the water?
It's an alien sport. That's what they call sports like that, alien sports. And we only have a federation. Aside from South Africa, we have Nigeria. That's all. The other
and you brought the one for
to Nigeria, and we intend to spread it to the rest of West Africa. Ghana are waiting for us to have our facility. The sport is such that rather than doing boats, using a boat where you have a cable attached to the boat, you understand? This time they build the facility in the water. So it's like a crane. I don't know how to describe it. It's like this building thing you see, but then it's situated in the water, and there's a cable, and then you hold the cable and it takes you around. The person who invented this is almost 100 years old. I interviewed him in Germany, Bruno Rixen.
How old is he now?
Like 90 something, but he still does the sports. Anybody can do the sports, even children. The one for the children, they call it Little Bro. It's like a pool size. And then the first time I did in Abu Dhabi, I didn't know how to swim. You just wear the life jacket, and you can start with knee boarding, where you bend and then they strap you.
I think I saw a picture like that.
And then when you fall, you don't have to swim, you just do this. So it's very safe. You understand? So for the cable, the one that's the wakeboarding, this is a wakeboard. Behind you is one board, and you stand sideways.
Emilia, can you bring it so that the viewers will see what it is?
Yeah. And that's the life jacket. Yes.
Oh. So this, you wear it like this?
Floats. When you fall in the water, you can't drown with this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't. You just float.
Oh, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Oh my goodness.
So it just carries you. You look good in it. You come and do one of our athletes.
Thank you.
So, you know, you can see it's chic and it's also classy. So it's a rave sport.
And this is
that's the wakeboard. That's called a wakeboard.
And this is the shoes.
Yes.
So you automatically have to fit in this particular shoes.
Many sizes can get in there.
Oh wow.
Many sizes. You just pull the strings. So you stand sideways like this. Your legs, you know, you can see the way it's facing. So it takes you. And then for experts, they do the stunts. You know.
So how do you determine a winner?
The winners are the ones who, depending on the time, how long it takes for them to finish, and how many stunts. You know,
you have to pull.
Yes, for water skiing, you know, it's wakeboard and water skiing. Water skiing is to skis.
Okay.
Like snow skiing. And it faces front.
Okay.
But this one is a trendy one. This one is a new one. Wakeboarding. So
what's your dream for this sport in Nigeria?
What I love about the sport is the fact that it is a great door for tourism. And it's also very lucrative for investors. It's expensive to set up, but once you do, you can imagine you get people. We can host international championships.
Yeah.
We'll open up the door of Nigeria to how many countries? And because we have good weather all around the year, South Africa is short most of the year because they have the winter. Here we don't have any winter. So you can imagine how many competitions we can host here. So once we can get, and the beauty of this facility is, like where we attended in Jordan, it's a cable park, it's a recreational facility. You have a beach, you have restaurants, you have fun facilities. So in one place you can have many things. So why I love this sports is the fact that it's beyond sports. It's leisure, it's entertainment, it's tourism. Okay. It's also a lot of money. And
that will even open Nigeria, you know, to people that think maybe we still jump on trees and what have you not.
That's a very valid point.